Hello, I'm Shab. Let's talk about photography. First of all, you don't need any of that expensive equipment. DSLRs, lenses, expensive tools, none of that. In fact, the rule I'll be talking about today can help you improve your photos whether you are using your mobile phone or the most expensive camera there is. Now I know some of you might say, but Shab, rules are meant to be broken. Rules don't always work. Sure, they don't always work, but knowing it will definitely help. Enough of the introduction. The rule we will be talking about today is the rule of thirds, which is a special case of the golden ratio, which comes from the repeating patterns we see in nature and is usually found in the most human things and plants, nature, To be short, it makes things look pleasing to our eyes. Now I broke this into three main parts. Before we get started talking about all of that, if you don't have the grid on your phone right now or on your camera, go ahead and put it, because we're going to be talking about it. The grid of thirds looks like two horizontal lines and two vertical lines. I just said the opposites. So it's, two horizontal lines and two vertical lines. It divides the picture into 9 boxes. Now, if you have the grid on, we are ready to go. The way number 1. You can put the object of interest on one of the midpoints. Now, the midpoints are the 4 points where the lines cross. Here's an example. This street cat in Homs. I tried to put the cat's face on one of the midpoints, and you can see how it fits nicely in the frame. Here's another example, a picture that I took for my friend Hadi, and I tried to put his face on one of the midpoints, the upper right one. Therefore, his face is the first thing we see in the picture. And that's why midpoints are also called points of interest. It's always nice to try and put the person's face on one of the midpoints when you are shooting portraits. The second way is to use those lines. And to explain that a little better, we'll need a model. Luckily, I'll be seeing my friend Tawfiq right now. I'll be right back. Okay, keep rolling. It's cold outside, so I have to put a jacket on. Ready to go! What's up? Okay, now as you see, when Tawfiq is in the middle of the frame, things are not that much interesting. But if we move the camera a little, there you go, that's much better. To be honest, I mostly use this way because usually the objects I shoot are far away from me, so it works perfectly to just align the object I'm shooting on one of the lines. Now back to the main frame. Okay, that was fun. Now, the third and last way. Usually it's very useful for landscape photography. So if you are shooting on your mobile phone, it's usually a wide camera, and that would work perfectly for you if you're shooting a sunset, you're shooting the sea, you're shooting a forest. This would work perfect. So how it works is you divide the picture into 3/3. Obviously. So how do we do that? We use the two horizontal lines to divide our pictures into 3/3. You have the upper third, the middle third, and the bottom third. Feels like exercise just by doing this. So how it works is we put the first main big object on one of the thirds, usually the lower one, and then we put the other big object on the other 2/3, like the bottom and the upper one. For example, if you're shooting at the beach, you can put the water of the sea on the lower third, and the sky can take the 2 other thirds. And you can use it in another way by putting one object to take the lower 2/3 and another one to take the upper one, usually the sky. For example, if you're shooting the mountains, you can put the mountains on the lower and the middle thirds, and you can put the sky on the upper thirds. If you're shooting a forest, you can do the same with the sky and the trees. If you're shooting the stars, I don't know. It works perfectly for landscapes. I really use it a lot. And by the way, the grid can help you in another way. I mean, you can use the grid to align the horizontal lines you see in nature to the horizontal line you have on your phone. For example, you can see it perfectly here in the picture of the sea. The nature gave us this perfectly horizontal line of the water, so we can put our photos perfectly aligned to it. Sounds super spiritual, right? I know. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. When you go out and shoot, try this rule. And if you do and post it on Instagram, be sure to tag me. I'd love to see your pictures. My Instagram link is down below. So, alright. See you later then.